Hello everyone. Welcome to the Global Unmasking, the truth that's hidden in plain sight. So you guys, we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics, okay? We're going to go ahead and start with the fact that, okay, there's all this information about aliens, right? So back in the day, right, when I say back in the day, like, go back as far as you wish, right? So they used to really sit there and deny the fact of alien existence, right? Okay, there wasn't aliens, none of that, right? Even when people seen sightings and stuff like that, no. Then they decided, okay, yeah, we've seen a couple UFOs. Okay. Then they said, oh, we've seen multiple within the years, saying basically that they lied previously. Then, yes, we've not only seen UFOs, but had a crashing where we also have aliens. We've also been working with them with the Galactic Confederation. Okay. Now, I just want to remind you a couple things about aliens. They're said to not like humans, and they do what? They abduct people, right? Okay. Now, let's talk about the rapture. Okay, so what is the rapture? The rapture is right before that. We have the rapture, which is where people get taken up, to heaven, so to speak, before the 7 years of tribulation. Well, what's the years of tribulation? Famine, death, plagues, all this and all that. If you watch my previous videos, you know that they are coming against the food, right? Trying to take the food down, trying to inflate, all this and all that. Then there's actually a biblical plague called leprosy that is coming out. Actually, it's been out, but it's taking prominence, okay, in Florida right now. People are already talking about a financial crisis and all this and all that. So, you take the fact that everybody's talking about that this is the end times. Muslims, Buddhists, Christians, so on as Catholics, so on and so forth, right? People believe that this is the end of times, right? Well, what does that mean? That means that people are accepting the fact that there's about to be a rapture. Why would they just now tell us that all of the alien stuff is just now coming out? And we know that aliens abduct people. And we know that they did a trade for 150,000 people for their technology. So they already are using humans. They already do these things in trafficking, abductions. You know what I'm saying? And now they want us to believe that all these people are going to go up to heaven when really it's not time for that, because the fires, the earthquakes, all those things are man-made. The famine, all that is man-made. It's controlled. The plagues, those are man-made. That's not from God. Those are man-made things that are happening. So is it really the end of times? No. They want you to think it is, so that whenever they decide to abduct people and do all that stuff, that people will be more accepting of it. Okay? You following? Yeah. That being said, let's get into the rest of this. Okay? So talking about the Biden, they call Biden Sleepy Biden, right? They said that Sleepy Biden is not the Democratic choice. He's no longer the Democratic choice. Like, they're wanting to basically put him down, and they're wanting to pick up either Michelle Obama, right? Because they're saying that in order, and when I say they, it's Tucker Carlson, is basically saying that, with the CERN shutdown, that they were trying to open up a portal to hell. First off, that's crazy, right? But is it really? Because if we go and we look back at the videos where we were talking about what CERN is and why it has Sheba and what Sheba represents and how it was demonic, and they're looking at dark matter energy and all this and all that, and it kind of goes with the agenda. Follow me, okay? they want Michelle Obama, because they said if you're going to replace a African American woman, it's going to be with an African American woman. So that's what they're saying. But mind you, Joe Biden just got in trouble here recently for using an alias, Robert L. or something like that, or Robert Lee or Robert L. He was using an alias to communicate with people to get money, but then he was using that same alias to talk to his son. Okay, and they're calling for the receipts and the emails of any time that he used that alias. Okay, yeah, it's a big scandal going on. Okay, but anyway, so they're talking about Michelle Obama. And a lot of people are really critiquing Kamala because she's not doing her job as far as, you know, controlling the borders, right? Anyway, Tucker Carlson says that the CERN is going to shut down because they're opening up that portal to hell. Now, Cole McGregor says that Ukraine is actually being destroyed. But here's the kicker. Ukraine is actually joining NATO. And whilst joining NATO, they say that they will regain their Soviet independence again, or sovereign independence again, okay? Now, Eric Heckler, a former Navy member who worked in the UFO department, says that while working in the South Pole, he saw DO machines, direct energy weapons, which we've seen actually start these fires in Maui and other places. He's seen earthquake technology, surveillance technology, weather modification technology, and much more. So he whistle-blowed that, right? Now we're hearing that we are in a sequel to the 2008 recession. So if y'all remember 2008, now they're saying that it's going to be worse than that because the dollar is collapsing because of the BRIC alliance, right? And them changing the currency, right? Going cashless and doing gold-backed or mineral-backed money. And then on top of that, what's happening with Ukraine and Taiwan and Russia and China. So there's so many things that are happening right now that is just, it's flat out putting us into inflation and recession. And Kamala says, yes, there's inflation and there's going to keep being inflation. Now, back in the day, there was such thing as the cabal. Cabal being like the Illuminati, like a top secret society, so on and so forth. And they were actually going to blow up the world. They didn't give a F, right? They were just going to like massacre people and just not even care about the casualties. They actually set bombs within volcanoes and in strategic places around the world that will cause basically a global collapse, and that then they could reset and do what they wanted to do with that. Well, now it's interesting to see that they are working with certain people, the cabal, because they're still a thing. And did you know that the Yellowstone is about to erupt, which is not only going to affect Yellowstone and those civilizations around that, but also that is set to, you know, affect the Grand Canyon. I mean, we already talked about the global agenda, right? We already talked about the global agenda and all the different things that are happening. Now, let's talk about this blackout. Now, we've heard about the solar flares. We heard about the Russian controlling the technology, so on and so forth. But we're also hearing about a date for blackout, whether this is a full-on blackout or internet grid going down, or just the internet specifically and not necessarily the electronical grid or electromagnetic grid. But they're saying September 23rd is a date to mark on your calendars, okay? You want to make sure that you guys have camping gear, flashlights, generators, solar-powered stuff, food stock, drink supply, you name it. You want to have these things in case of these things. You also want to have medical supplies, okay? Also gardening supplies in case you need to grow your stuff. Also weapons in case you got to defend your stuff. Okay. But yeah, you guys, so this has been this spell. I hope that this has helped. Stay blessed, never stress, with much peace, much power, much love, much light, and of course much joy. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, or if there's a topic that you guys want me to talk about. Peace.